is telling us is that government is expected to provide a roadmap of the next phase of national monetization pipeline, where they are going to set a higher target for the next fiscal onwards.
Building on the success of the first asset monetization plan announced in 2021, the second plan for 2025 to 30 will be launched to plow back capital of 10 lakh crore in new projects.
Do you really know the company you invest in? What's the picture behind presentations and claims? Is the outlook as rosy as the company claims? Know your company, powered by NDTV Profit's research, shines a light on the biggest stock market movers. Know your company at 11:30 a.m. Monday through Friday, only on NDTV Profit.
Hi, thanks so much for joining in. You're watching Ask Profit on NDTV Profit. My name is Alex Matthew, and with me is Mahima Vajrajani, and we'll take you through the next 1 hour of trade. And it's not the best start to the trading week, unfortunately, and it all has to do with what Mr. Donald Trump said 30,000 feet in the air when he was flying on Air Force One. He spoke about tariffs, and he spoke about the fact that there's going to be 25% tariffs on steel, on aluminium. There are a few more tariffs that could come through over the course of the rest of the week. And well, that's not necessarily good news for global trade, because you have possibly fears of a trade war escalation, or at least a tariff war escalation. And what happens with those tariffs is that it makes everything costlier, as a result of which you have inflation that is a bugbear that a lot of economies have gotten past just about, that might actually be making a comeback if things go the way that they are. So you have the equity markets in India that are trading at the low point of the day, and look at that on your screen, right? You have a lot of the metal counters that were doing well at the end of last week that are getting beaten down, and beaten down heavily. 7% gains for the metal index last week. Let's in fact pull up the metal index as things stand right now, if we can get an intraday chart, because that will just drive home the point. All right, so 260 points or so lost on the metal index, and all of them in the red. Pull up the intraday chart as well if we can on the metal index, because really that's going to give you a picture of how things are. 3% lower. Let's also pull up the heat map, or rather the sectoral map, the heat map, because that will give you a sense of what is in the green. And there's only FMCG that's holding out with gains of about 0.1%. Remember, FMCG as a pack was beaten down towards the end of last week. Just a bit of a comeback at the start of this week. Metal, realty, healthcare, all getting beaten down. And let's pull up some healthcare names as well, because I looked at Fortis earlier on in the session. It posted its results. It's still not, actually this is not included, right? But this is pharma. Let's pull up the healthcare pack. Fortis is down. It started off in the green on the back of a decent set of numbers, but it's also losing ground. So what should that tell you? It should tell you that even positive results are getting sold into right now, because the texture and the breadth of the market is actually negative at this stage. So you're probably wondering what you should do about the stocks that you hold, or the trades that you've probably initiated, particularly maybe in the metal counters. You may have gone long last week. How should you change that? If you've got questions for us, you can send them to us on the WhatsApp number that you see on the top of your screen, or on the landline number at the bottom of your screen. Anything else that you're spotting, Mahima?
Absolutely. You know, some hope in this sea of red. Brainbees Solutions, Vatek, Wabag, all of these counters buzzing on the back of earnings. So, you know, the thing that we've kept on discussing still holds, that, you know, a good set of numbers and good valuations are seeing an uptick in trade. Vatek, Wabag up 2%. Brainbees also doing very well in trade today. The losses, you know, narrowed to 7 crore for the company, which is why the stock is up 4%. Let's also pull up something like Sharda. that counter is also doing pretty well. Sharda Energy and Minerals, a good set of numbers for the company, which is why we are seeing an uptick in the stock. But some counters which are really seeing the beating down include your Zaggle. Sharda did start at a very good pace in the start of the trade, but it's come down to around 0.4% higher. But Zaggle is something that's feeling the brunt today. It's down by about 10%, locked in lower circuits since the start of the trade. Delivery, Borosil, all of these counters are also facing pressure. Dreamfolk Services also seeing a lot of pressure on the back of its Q3 earnings. Let's also pull up something like Hindustan Foods. It's up around 7%. It was up around 7% in the morning today. But let's pull up that and see what it's doing in trade today right now. In terms of some counters, there are kind of seeing the pressure. And also include Shipping Corporation of India. There is Amara Raja on the back of Q3 earnings. There is FL India on the back of Q3 earnings. Jyoti CNC also on the back of earnings. Although good set of numbers, Alex, but the stock is seeing pain.
Absolutely, and quite a few of those counters. Let's get our experts on board. We've got Saurabh Jain, who's Equity Head Research at SMC Global Securities, and we've also got Brijesh Ail of Retail, who's a head of retail research at IDBI Cap. Gentlemen, thank you so much for taking the time. Pleasure as always. Let me start with the first question today, and we've got a question from Rohit Akash, who's writing in from Vellore in Tamil Nadu, and he's asking about ONGC, which he's bought at an average price of 249. The holding period is 6 months, and he's in a loss right now, just very marginal, but he's asking whether to hold on. Brijesh, what's the view on the chart?
Morning, Alex. So, if you, specifically from the charts point of view, there has been a sell-off, and I think slowly it might correct little bit further lower. Maybe he should be open for 230 levels on the downside. So, other 10 points correction is likely. But then if he's having a long-term view for a 6 months kind of time frame, I think it is a hold. Sooner or later, we might see some bounce in the stock. So, if it comes to 230 levels, I would advise to average some of his position.
All right. The next question also I'll stick with you, Brijesh. Deshkar from Nagpur is holding 100 shares of Jupiter Wagons, bought at 393 a piece. He wants to know, should he hold at the current levels or come out? And if he should hold, what could be the stop loss going ahead?
Okay, so if we can have some kind of a long-term perspective, then it is a hold. But then purely from the trading or maybe from a short-term perspective, it is making a lower low, definitely. So that suggests me it may come close to 300 levels. So he should be prepared for those levels. 300 is where something I think it will find some support, and if it's able to manage and if you're able to do some averaging at those points, it is advisable. Long term, I think this stock has potential, but the definition of long term would be more than 1 year.
Okay, I'm going to take the next question from Dinesh, who says that he's a senior citizen and he's invested in Ingersoll Rand. And he's got 100 shares at a price of 4,200 rupees per share, and he wants to keep it for at least the next 5 years, he says. He wants to know whether or not he should average his holding right now because he has strong conviction about this MNC company. Saurabh, I'm coming to you. On the fundamentals, how does it look, Ingersoll Rand?
First of all, if you look at the capital goods sector, I think it is looking good for the next 4-5 years. I think manufacturing sector will gain. The company is into the pumps and the compressor segments. So it's a MNC, and the company has always, it has a proven track record. I mean, when the things will turn positive, I think Ingersoll Rand stands to benefit maximum out of it. So from 5-year term, time horizon, I think it's a clear hold. With regards to average, I think he can keep on adding in a staggered manner in the recent correction.
So hold for the next 5 years and keep on adding in a staggered manner is the view coming in on Ingersoll Rand from Saurabh. The next question that we have is from Venkat, who's from Bengaluru. He's holding Yes Bank, and he wants to know from a longer term perspective, 2 years, what could be the target for this particular counter. Saurabh, I'll stick with you. Your view on Yes Bank?
I think overall there is some kind of a pressure on the banking industry per se because of the rising delinquency, especially in the MFI segment and compression in the net interest margin. Yes Bank is already, in my opinion, is priced to perfection because the book is not that clean. It was perceived that the Yes Bank would be able to clean the balance sheet as per the industry, top-notch banking or maybe the mediocre ones. But I don't think so. It has happened now. I think there are many good opportunities in the space, in the banking space. In my opinion, I think he should get out of the Yes Bank and maybe look for the banks like Canara or maybe Bank of Baroda.
Okay, Canara, Bank of Baroda are counters that you should watch out for. And indeed, the PSU banking pack is one to watch. Quite a few of those numbers better than expected, at least on the asset quality side. Let's get in our first caller of the day. We've got Mallikarjun who's calling us from Bengaluru. Hi, morning Mallikarjun. How can we help you today?
Hi. My question is, I bought 200 shares of Bajaj Housing Finance at the rate of 257. So my question is, should I wait or shall I exit from this stock?
Okay. And you bought it from the perspective of the long term based on the fundamental track record, etc., right?
Yes. Because this repo rate cut will, I think, housing related stocks will go up. Because of that, I took this stock. But I'm not sure, I stuck on this level.
No, can you confirm to me what level you bought it at?
257.
Okay. I'm just pulling up the chart. Let's see. All right. So it's elevated levels. I'm actually trying to figure out when it last hit this number. Can you confirm when you bought this stock, please?
Maybe 2 months ago.
Okay, fine. All right. Saurav, I'll come to you on the fundamentals. What would you say about this? So I don't think that the buy price is accurate because the stock has hit an all-time high of 146 in the last 3 months. So it's unlikely that.
Sorry.
Yeah.
157, not 257.
Yeah, I thought as much.
My bad.
I thought as much because from my recollection, the stock has never crossed 200. But okay, 157 is the buy price. So therefore, Saurabh, on the fundamentals, would you hold if you bought at levels of 157, you lost a little bit of ground, would you hold on?
On the business front, it is a very good company. It has grown above industry average, and the recent results were also good. It is the only valuation which was concerning, and that is why we are seeing in the recent market correction, all these stocks which were trading on the high valuations are being sold off by the investors. So this is the case with Bajaj Housing Finance. I think if you have a term of next for the 3 to 5 year horizon, I think it is a very good company to keep in the portfolio. I would not recommend to average it down, but at the same time, because it's a good company with good background, I'll say keep on holding.
The stock was, just so we complete the point that we were making, Mallikarjun, so on the fundamentals, Saurabh likes it, but if we can pull up the all-time chart of this counter, it was listed in September of last year and it listed at a premium. It is done quite well if you think about the issue price, but it has lost ground over the course of that time period. It's down about 29%. It hit a high of 181. So he's not bought at the all-time high, but he has bought at elevated levels. That is the improvement from the issue price, because issue day, if I remember the day of listing, it actually made a substantial premium.
Right, correct. The next query that we have is from Vamsadhir, who's from Andhra Pradesh. He wants to know the right levels to enter Zen Technologies. He wants to make a fresh entry in this counter, and he wants to know what could be the right levels. Is this the right time to enter Zen Tech, Brijesh, as per you on the charts?
Okay, so 850, 830 is a level. What's the multiple level from where it took the breakout? So just in case if there is any future correction, so 830 can be the pullback level. So right entry cannot be defined, but then partial entry can be made, and little bit on a correction close to 830, 840 levels. Further questions can be added.
Okay. Okay, so we've got an interesting question coming in from Mohana, and what Mohana is asking is, why is the market falling at this juncture? Because from the domestic standpoint, you have a significant development over the weekend in the form of the assembly elections in New Delhi. While it is not a very large, it's not very large in terms of the election as such, because it's an assembly election. It's still a momentous occasion. The first time in 27 years that the BJP is making a comeback in New Delhi, and it bodes well for the future for that party as well. But let's talk about the context, right, Saurabh? Would you agree that global factors are at play currently, and it's more to do with what is happening on the global stage than the domestic factors right now?
I think there are a host of reasons, both at local and the global. While global reasons is that US is expected to do well, and a lot of hot money is going back to the American market, leaving Indian country, and so that is the reason we are seeing huge amount of selling. The other reason is that domestically the growth is dipping because of the lower capex by the government, lower spending, and now in fact, if you look at the earnings season, the growth is also dipping in contrast to the valuation at which stock prices are trading at. So in terms of valuation, our market looks pricey, not whole, but especially in the mid cap and small cap segment, you will see that the valuation is higher than their counterparts in the large cap. So I think it is the selling, the global market, that is mother market, US market is doing well. And now a lot of statements coming from the US market with respect to tariffs, which no one knows what kind of impact it will have on the global economy, especially in the context of metal and other things. So I think after a huge run up in the last 3 years, we may see this period as a period of some kind of a correction, and both time and price wise.
Right. So that's the view coming in on the markets, Saurabh. Quite an extensive view on that one. We have our next caller, Jeevan from Karnataka, is calling in. Jeevan, a very good morning to you. How can we help you?
Ma'am, good morning. Very good morning, ma'am. I bought the Canara Bank price in the 99.64.
Okay.
In 1,000 shares, ma'am. Can I hold it or sell it, ma'am? Right now the price is 92.23.
Correct. Jeevan, when you bought
it, can I hold it or sell it, ma'am?
Okay, when you bought it, was it from a longer term perspective or did you see the charts?
No, ma'am. I bought a long term for at least 5 years.
Got it. So you bought it from a fundamental point of view. Saurabh, I'll stick with you again for this one. Canara Bank is the counter. What's the view?
I think it is one of the good bank among the PSU banks. On the valuation side, it comes into the value category. If you look at the numbers were cool enough, I mean, to justify the current valuation. I think it's a market selling at which, because of which all the banks are in pressure, and some of apprehension lies because of in future maybe the delinquency rate will go up. But considering the fact with respect to the budget, I think the consumption story will unfold going next financial year, and it will definitely help the banking sector. Moreover, this time around, I think a lot of money was raised from the capital market. So essentially, the credit growth which was expected did not came through the banking sector. And next year, we expect the good amount of credit growth will happen in the banking sector, and thus will propel valuation to the upside and both the earnings as well. So in my opinion, from the long-term perspective, I think it is a very good bank to bank upon.
A very good bank to bank on, which is Canara Bank. This was incidentally the pick that Saurabh had when we spoke about Yes Bank as well. He said Canara Bank and Bank of Baroda are the stocks that he likes. We've got the next question from Shrikar, and he's looking for a technical view on Apar Industries. He's already looked at the fundamentals, and he points out when he looked at it that the operating profit was a bit of a sticking point in the results. It is down about 4.7% as we speak. Brijesh, I'll come to you on the charts. The question is, if you've got a longer term perspective on this, would you use this opportunity to buy?
Yeah, so I'm not very sure, because recently what has happened in Apar is there has been a big tick during the month of Jan, 20th Jan, and then after that it went sideways. And today, after the very first time, again fresh sell-off is what we are observing in the Apar industry. So basically, the trend looks to be weak. So as long as we don't see any support or maybe some buying good volumes coming in, it will be very risky, because the weekly structure is also not turned bearish. So the structure is lower top, low bottom structure, and it suggests a weak bias. So if it's taken a position, I'll ask him to hold the position only because the charts are in the oversold zone. But averaging is not advisable.
Averaging is not a good idea, and I would think that a fresh entry is also not a good idea, right, Brijesh?
Yeah, no, not at all.
All right, it's looking weak on the charts. We've got a caller. Alex is calling us from Kerala. Alex, good morning. How can we help you today?
Hi, Alex.
Good morning. Please go ahead.
I want to ask about Triveni Engineering.
Okay, what about it?
I'm looking this stock as to get a push from the ethanol production, because from next month or might be from next quarter onwards, government will push to E20 ethanol on this one petrol. So this is one of the largest producer of ethanol, and this they are into other diversified sector also, sugar, distillery, and the power sector also they are into. So is it a right stock in ethanol or any other better stock?
Okay, so you're looking at the higher blending targets for the government of India with regard to oil marketing companies, right?
Yeah.
As a trigger.
Other problem is,
as a trigger, I got it. All right. So, and do you have you bought this already, or are you contemplating buying it right now?
No, I am planning to buy.
Okay, fine. Saurabh, I'll come to you on the fundamentals. While a lot has been said about this higher blending target, the question mark is whether or not oil marketing companies, one, can go ahead and increase that blending. And the second question that a lot of people have is, are the vehicles that we currently operate that are being produced and sold by original equipment manufacturers, at the automakers, are they capable of handling a higher blend of ethanol? Because you would need to have a bit of a tweak to the technology to have a higher share of ethanol, right?
Absolutely right. I mean, Alex, in this context, there are a lot of variables, I mean, which should be in favor of the companies who are producing sugar and ethanol. In my opinion, I think the last 3 years, if you look at the Triveni engineering, the stock has does nothing. I mean, the last 3 years, the price was the same. What is the problem for these sugar companies and the ethanol making companies is that they are not able to make money either on the sugar and the ethanol, because both the prices are governed by the central government. I mean, they notify what kind of pricing, what kind of margin they'll be able to give on the ethanol. Yes, while the branding is expected to rise, but it is the profitability which market is eyeing that these companies will be able to, for these companies, it will be difficult to make profits both on the ethanol and the sugar. And that is why I think the stock price is languishing. So I think it is a cyclical kind of a stock. In my opinion, I think it is very difficult to judge what lies in the future. So in my opinion, I think it is a avoid.
What is the view coming in on Triveni Engineering? The next question that we have is from Joseph, who's from Qatar. He's invested in Tips Music. He's purchased 150 shares at 879 a piece. So he's sitting on a significant loss of 33,000 odd rupees because he's bought at elevated levels. The stock is currently trading at 657 odd rupees. He wants to know, considering the current scenario, should he keep holding them or average out at current levels? 6 months is his time horizon. Brijesh, I'll take your view with respect to the charts on Tips Music.
So lately, the stock has been correcting, but then maybe a few months before, there was a very good buying setup in the Tips, and there were a lot of people who were buying Tips Music. So somewhere the long-term charts are okay. Means I'm not saying that super bullish, but then there is something which is cooking in the Tips. So if he's already having a position, I will ask him to hold the position. The recent swing low, which was like 595, so that should be his stop loss, and just hold the position. And once it is above 730, 740 levels, then the bullish bias can come in. So you just need to keep a wait and watch kind of a scenario with the 595 as a stop loss.
Okay. Brijesh, thanks so much for joining us today. I understand we have to say goodbye a little early today. Thanks so much for joining us on Ask Profit. Saurabh, do stay with us. We'll be back after this very quick break, and viewers, we'll be back to take more of your questions, so do stay tuned.
भाषण सुना, उसके बाद मेरा पहला एक्रोनिम निकाला मैंने, वो था RRR, रिस्पॉन्सिबल, रिफॉर्मिस्ट, और मैंने कहा रिवॉल्यूशनरी। हाउ डिड यू अराइव एट दिस नंबर ऑफ 12 लाख रुपीस?
हमें लगता है टैक्स पेयर उस लेवल नंबर से टैक्स भर रहा है, क्या उनको हम कुछ कर सकते हैं?
प्राइवेट सेक्टर कैपेक्स अभी तक वो इन्वेस्ट क्यों नहीं कर रहे हैं, जबकि आपका इकोनॉमिक सर्वे ही बताता है कि वो कैश पाइल पे बैठे हुए हैं।
कि अगर कंजम्पशन बढ़ता और उसके तहत लगता है कि ग्रेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट का पॉसिबिलिटी है, वो भी अच्छा ट्रिगर हो सकता है।
एआई बहुत तेज़ी से आ रहा है, तो जॉब के चैलेंजेस होंगे, स्किल के चैलेंज पहले से हैं, तो जो ट्रांजिशन पीरियड का स्ट्रगल है, नौकरी मुझे अभी चाहिए।
पूरे साल का एक्सपोजर दिलाने के लिए हम इंटर्नशिप प्रोग्राम ले आए और इसके साथ साथ इस बजट में भी ट्रेनिंग फॉर एआई इसके लिए सेंटर्स बनाए हैं।
Tax regime for individual. In fact, there has been discussion on how to sort of reduce the tax rate.
I am now happy to announce that there will be no income tax payable up to income of 12 lakh rupees.
Do you really know the company you invest in? What's the picture behind presentations and claims? Is the outlook as rosy as the company claims? Know your company, powered by NDTV Profits Research, shines a light on the biggest stock market movers. Know your company at 11:30 a.m. Monday through Friday, only on NDTV Profit.
Headlines you start your day with. What matters worldwide is now in the palm of your hands. Get ready to seize the day and maximize your financial potential. Stay ahead of the curve with all you need to know on NDTV Profit.
Do you really know the company you invest in? What's the picture behind presentations and claims? Is the outlook as rosy as the company claims? Know your company, powered by NDTV Profits Research, shines a light on the biggest stock market movers. Know your company at 11:30 a.m. Monday through Friday, only on NDTV Profit.
Headlines you start your day with. What matters worldwide is now in the palm of your hands. Get ready to seize the day and maximize your financial potential. Stay ahead of the curve with all you need to know on NDTV Profit.
Government is considering to increase the custom duty on the imported finished goods ranging from consumer electronics to medical devices.
And to rectify inverted duty structure, I propose to increase the BCD on interactive flat panel display from 10% to 20%.
Do you really know the company you invest in? What's the picture behind presentations and claims?
Welcome back. You're watching Ask Profit. We'll take a quick detour. So callers who are waiting on the line, just hold for a bit. We'll talk to the management of Akzo Nobel because it's in focus on the back of its Q3 earnings. We've got Rajiv Rajgopal, CMD of Akzo Nobel, who's joining us now. Rajiv, a very good morning to you. First of all, on the numbers, revenue was up around 1.7%. EBITDA did see a growth of around 0.3%. Margins have, slid a tad bit, and net profit was down by around 4.6%. To you, how did the numbers pan out for Q4? Because demand scenario has been under pressure. What's the reading like in Q4, and going ahead, what are you expecting?
Good morning, Mahima. Good morning to you and all the viewers. As far as the last quarter is concerned, for us, the earnings have been a tad lower than what we wanted. As far as top line is concerned, we were targeting about a mid-single-digit growth. We ended up at about 2%. Our coating vertical grew in terms of volume between mid to high single digit, and our paints vertical also registered growth. In terms of how we see it, I think it's a positive step because we've registered volume growth despite not participating very aggressively in the lower end in things like putty, etc., where there was deep discounting in the market. And as a result, you've seen we've been able to maintain our margins, not just versus last quarter, but over prior year, same quarter. As far as the PAT is concerned, look, we had given a one-time special dividend commemorating 70 years of Akzo Nobel in India in November, and as a result, there is a slight drop on the interest income, which sort of impacted. But we think it's normal. We believe that look, as far as January is concerned, we've had a good start, and we believe that look, we are poised to sort of make sure that we continue our market share gain that we have now been doing for more than 9 to 12 quarters. So that's really the focus, Mahima.
Rajiv, 2-3 follow-up questions on what you said. First of all, with respect to the volume growth that you talked about, this quarter, what was the volume growth exactly in absolute terms, and what was the volume growth like?
See, the volume growth, look, we don't give out the exact numbers in absolute terms, but suffice to say we registered sort of a mid-single digit volume growth, really. You can see our revenue growth was approximately 2%. So clearly there were two concerns. One, really, what really did well was that our premium portfolio really did well across decorative paints and the vertical and our coatings vertical. Our challenge was really, and you were reading it, is really the forex, and that sort of impacted a bit on the margins. But we believe that look, at this point of time, and there's been a price erosion, Mahima. If you look at from the beginning of the year, industry price erosion of almost about 4.5%. So there was a slight price increase in the months of July and August that's gone back largely into discounts. So really, structurally, we believe that look, and that base effect is over at the end of January. So we believe that going forward, volume value will start getting gap will start getting closer, and we believe that look, we should poise well and deliver strong growth.
Rajiv, with respect to what you said in terms of market share gains, we still, when I talked to the other paint players, I was asking them with respect to the competition. Touch points with respect to Birla Opus are really rising, and every quarter they're increasing their touch points a lot. But the big ones came out and said that in terms of value proposition, it's not quite significant right now. Is this the same reading that you also have, or you think that some kind of competition has propped in and that it is affecting your sales, in this particular quarter as well, and you expect them to kind of hurt by a tad bit going forward as well?
So first and foremost, the touch points have increased. Look, I think it's important to understand in decorative that we are largely a huge premium player with a 16% market share. And really, the player you talked about really, has really focused on the mass economy, primers and certain other categories, undercoats, etc. And of course, they've started making inroads into premium. Initial placement has been strong. It would be, I think, naive for me to say that, look, there is absolutely no impact, but I think we are managing it very well. The fact that you can see our results, and you will see as the industry results come out over the next few days, have been pretty much ahead, clearly demonstrates the fact that our product quality, which is our USP, I believe is unmatched. We believe that, look, we offer services and we have a team that's really sort of rising to the occasion with a lot of other things happening in the background. And we believe that we are poised to win. Look at our coatings business. Our marine protective powder business have had a phenomenal performance in the last quarter. And, the start, as I told you, in January has been fairly strong. So I think, look, yes, there will be a bit of a shake-up in the, perhaps not immediate, but maybe in a year's time if this continues. And we are taking note of each and every competitive player that comes in. I would be naive to say that, look, it's no impact. And you're right that the distribution points have increased.
Rajiv, with respect to Akzo Nobel NV, there was a filing with respect to, it considering selling of powder coating business as well as international R&D. And, the management also had said that, they might explore potential acquisitions or, going ahead, any kind of, potentials of any sale of business going ahead in the decorative segment as well. Any update there? What's the view with respect to what's coming in from the holding company?
No, at this point of time, Mahima, there is no view. We are still in very early stages. There's a lot of speculation. I am sorry, I'll have to refrain myself from making any comments, but I can tell you it's fairly early stages. You're right, there are two tracks. But both, I think in my view, will take time. And as per process, Mahima, we have to first work with the board, and take the approvals of the board and follow the SEBI disclosure processes before coming back to you on anything. So that means there's nothing material at this point of time. We stand tall on governance as far as this company is concerned, and at an appropriate time, we will definitely inform all of you, which is the way we've been always doing business in India.
Fair enough, Rajiv. Just one last question before I let you go. You said that you were targeting around 25,000 outlets. Where has this number gone right now, and what does it look like in terms of outlook, FY26 down the line?
Yeah, I'll give you an indicative number, but we are between 22,500 to 23, and I think we are well on course in terms of getting into certain geographies which are fairly underrepresented. We've as you know, we've got approximately about 160 distributors with almost 90% more than 10 years of age and doing an excellent job. And we've now started a hub and spoke model where we are appointing micro distributors, particularly in our weaker geographies and states where we are underrepresented. That's well on its way. We had some challenges towards the prior quarter, but we've addressed it, and now we are going full swing. So we should be on way to our target. Now, whether we land at 24,500 or 25 plus, that's a function of how well we execute our plans. But we are monitoring it and supporting the teams to ensure we deliver it.
Right, Rajiv, thank you so much. We leave it at that. Thank you so much for taking our time and speaking with us at NDTV Profit. Always a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah, all right. Shifting to our queries now, we have Anup Bhattacharya who is calling in from Kolkata. A very good morning to you, Anup. I believe कि आपकी query Ujjivan Small Finance Bank पे है.
Yeah, very good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead with your query.
So, I'm a new joiner of the stock market, and 3 months back, though I have various types of stocks, but I have 500 quantities of Ujjivan Small Finance Bank and the price of 40.
Okay.
So I have a longer view, no matter it will take 2 years or 3 years. And few days back, the Ujjivan Small Finance Bank is separate from the Universal Bank. Okay. So I just want to the long-term view. That's it.
Okay, Arup. So you've studied the company well before buying it, if I'm not wrong, right? And you want a fundamental view on this?
Yeah.
All right. Saurabh, I'll come to you. Ujjivan Small Finance Bank, what's the view?
It is because of the problem with the balance sheet, rising delinquency, rising NPA, the stock got hammered down. I think maybe he'll be able to get his purchase price because of the bounce that is coming in. I think he should look for a bounce and exit close to his purchase price, because I feel that the problems are still there for quarters to come. So I think the stock will remain in pressure. He can only wait for the bounce to get out.
Ajit Mishra joining us as well. Ajit, hi, good morning, and thanks so much for joining us on the program. The next question is also a long-term question, so I'm going to come back to you, Saurabh, on this one. Vijeta from Kolkata is asking about this, and it's a stock that is under pressure today. Archean Chemicals Industries, this is a company that posted results over the weekend, and it's a 50% decline in the net profit that the company has reported, and the stock is under pressure. There is a little bit of pressure on the operating profit as well. Stock is about 5% lower. But she's pointing out that in December there was fresh buying both by domestic and foreign institutions that she has tracked. And she's wondering whether this is a good opportunity to add for the long term. And she's defining that, Saurabh, as 5 to 6 years. Would you buy?
I think she can take a contrarian call because it is a good company. It is the business which is now which is reflecting adverse condition because but 5-6 years is a long time horizon, and it is expected that the things will turn for positive for the companies like Archean Chemical. I think in terms of valuation, it looks like a value buy, trading at about 3.5 times to book value. So she may add in a staggered manner.
All right, so that's the view coming in on Archean Chemicals. The next query that we have is on SBI Bank. We've got 1,000 shares of SBI Bank. The time horizon is 5 years. So Saurabh, I'll have to stick with you again. What's your view with respect to SBI? Because the viewer has 1,000 shares, Mohit from Ludhiana, and is holding it from the 184 levels. Should he keep holding it from a 5-year term horizon?
Simon, 5-year time horizon is a very good period, and SBI is a marquee player in the banking sector. And I think in the times to come, when the consumption will rise, it will boost manufacturing and so the credit demand. I think in going next year, the credit demand will surely be higher than the current year, which was earlier expected that it should be good. But anyhow, I think going forward, things will be better. In terms of delinquency, I think the bank is well covered. There is the latest results demonstrate the credit quality of the loans that is given by the bank, and even bank has ensured that to the some of the top 3-4 MFIs it has exposure. The MFIs have also given the bank statement that their credit book is good enough. So in my opinion, I think it is a good buy for next 5 years.
Okay, that's the view on State Bank of India. Ajit, I'm coming to you on Quest Corp. This is a question coming in from Chandrasekharan, who's writing in from Chennai. He's bought at an average price of 845, and he's wondering whether to average at the current market price or should he sell and book loss. He can hold for another year.
So, Alex, this stock has had a history of volatile swings, is what I've been seeing. So since 2018, if you'll see the stock move from 850 to 150 and then again to 800 mark multiple times. So currently, yes, this time around is comparatively better. Means the retracement was closer to the major averages around the weekly charts around 550 area, and then we are seeing some stability. But for any directional move or any strong uptrend in the stock, we need a close above 850 mark. So it seems unlikely, at least in the near future. But since his view is long term, let's say 1 year plus, I would recommend him maintaining a stop at 550. If it breaks this level, definitely he should exit. Otherwise, he can stay put.
All right, let's take the next question. Niva from Chennai is asking about this. 250 shares of Sigachi Industries, bought at 52 rupees per share. Let's pull up the chart and see where it's currently trading. Niva would like to know whether they should add more at the current level or sell. Need a view for the next 6 to 8 months. The stock is currently trading close to that 40 mark, Ajit. So therefore, would you buy at this moment or would you wait?
Again, here's Alex, if you'll see, it's a very volatile stocks to trade or invest in. And as of now, the trend is clearly negative. Means the recent decisive swing low was around 43, which it breached last week. And since then, we have been seeing gradual decline continuing. The recently, plus we are seeing uptick in the volumes on the down days. So it's again, indicating further pressure in the stock come. So I would recommend liquidating his position, and for any sign of reversal or recovery, the stock should hold above 50 decisively. Then only consider. Otherwise, avoid.
Okay, that's the view coming in on Sigachi. The next caller that we have is Venkat from Andhra Pradesh. Venkat, a very good morning to you. How can we help you?
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for connecting me. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, I can hear you, Venkat. Good morning. Go ahead with your query.
I have 3 stock names I want to buy for 1 year. So one is Motilal Oswal Financial System.
We'll be able to help you with only one stock. So you have to choose between the 3.
I want to choose between these three.
Okay.
CDSL, the second one is CDSL.
Okay.
And the third one is Aeroflex Industries. Among these three, which one I should select for 1 year investment?
All right. Ajit, on the charts, Motilal Oswal, CDSL and Aeroflex, which one looks more attractive?
Honestly, all three stocks are witnessing correction, Mahima, and I feel that there could be more down legs in the recent up move. But Motilal, I feel that the stock has retraced very sharply, and there could be a possibility of some consolidation around 600 mark. So he should gradually accumulate, not buy at one go. So maybe closer to around this 600 to 580 zone. He should start accumulating with 550 being the lower band, and then he should wait it for 700 plus level as a position targets.
I must say that was Venkat. That was very sneaky of you. You're supposed to ask one stock and you asked three. All right, but we've got the next caller. Firoz is calling us from Kerala. Firoz, good morning. How can we help you today?
Good morning, sir.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm holding Finolex Industries in 1,000 shares at the rate of 249.
Okay.
Should I need to sell or average, or what's your view
so
on
you
this?
bought at 250. When did you buy the stock?
That 3 months before.
3 months, okay. And when you bought it, Firoz, what was the thinking that you had? Did you buy it based on the long-term prospects?
Long-term prospect. Yeah.
Okay, so you are comfortable holding for 3 years, 5 years?
It's okay. I'm planning for holding more than 3 years.
More than 3 years, okay. So then on the basis of the fundamentals, Saurabh, you want to come in on this Finolex Industries. It's lost a little ground, 250 or thereabouts is the buy price. I mean, it's lost about 28% in 3 months, so it's very sharp, along with the rest of the market, right? So would you suggest you can hold on for 3 years?
I think if you look at the markets in the last 1.5 months, many of these stocks have lost to the tune of about more than 20%, and so is the case with the Finolex industry. It is in the good space. I mean, in the pipes and tubes segment. And if you look at the December quarter earnings, sequentially there was a growth in the profitability. But if you look at the year-on-year, there was some kind of a degrowth in the profitability. So, in my opinion, I think if you look at the valuation side, it is at very comforting level. For the next 3-5 years, it makes sense to hold Finolex Industries. My take would be a hold.
All right, the next question is coming in from Puducherry, and we've got Kutten who's asking about this. Nalco is the name of the counter that he wants to know about. 199 is a buy price. All right, the question is, should you hold or sell? Short-term view is being sought, and it's a 6-month time frame that he's identified. Ajit, what would you do with this? 249 is the buy. No, sorry. 199 is the buy price.
So Alex, till last week we were seeing that most of the stocks from the middle space were buzzing, and today the beginning is on the negative note, and we are seeing pressure across the board, and National Aluminium is also facing that same burn. But comparatively, if you will see within the metal basket is among the top performers, means it has retraced from its high, but comparatively still we are holding the strongly above this previous swing highs when it comes to the weekly charts and all. So basis that, I feel that if his view is, let's say, 6 months to a year, definitely he can stay put until we break this 180 mark decisively. In the next leg of the up move, once this consolidation is over, let's say in the range of 210 to 190 zone, then probably 235 to 40 is something that the stock might attempt. So yeah, with the 6 month of time horizon, he can maintain with closing stop loss of 180.
All right, stop loss of 180, but you can keep holding the counter as the view coming in from Ajit. The next caller that we have is from Ramesh. He's from Bengaluru and he's calling us. Ramesh, a very good morning to you. How can we help you?
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for connecting me. I want to ask a question on Afcon's infra shares.
Okay.
I have an average price of 480, 3,000 shares.
Okay.
So, current price, I mean, I'm just for long term, for 1 to 2 years.
Okay.
Can I average it or can I hold it?
Okay. Did you study the company, Ramesh, before buying it, or what was the idea behind buying Afcon's infra?
Yeah, I studied it. I mean, I applied for IPO. I got some, and then when it is going down, I added actually.
All right.
So I saw the, results also. Okay, but I just want to keep it that way because it's a very good infra company. That's why I said.
Got it. Saurabh, Afcon's infra, what's the view? And if you have a view on the entire infra space right now?
I think for the entire infrastructure space, if you look, there is some amount of selling, especially after the budget because of the lower capex budgeted in the budget. So with regards to Afcon's infra, I think it is relatively a new company listed on the bourses. I think in the recent quarterly numbers, we saw some kind of a degrowth, good amount of degrowth, I must say, if you look at the sequential numbers. On the valuation side, it is trading about 4.5 times to book value. And I think we should see 2-3 more quarters to get the sense how the company is working on the operation side. In my opinion, I think if he wishes to switch over, then he may switch over to companies like HG Infra, which has a proven track record and a good order book in hand. So my sense, in both the situation, from both the situation, he can opt for one. I mean, he can wait for the 2 quarters for the earnings, or maybe switch over to HG Infra.
All right, one more question before we hit the rapid fire round. Black Box is the name of the counter, and Sandeep is writing in from Mumbai asking about it. He's bought at levels of 600. The stock is currently trading sub 500. It's under pressure today, down about 3.5%. What should he do for the short term? Ajit, on the charts, how does it look?
So Alex, the trend that the stock was experiencing earlier, it has definitely deteriorated after the breakdown below 580 mark, and now the stock is hovering around some major averages, long-term averages. I would prefer exiting the stock if it fails to hold this 485 mark, because in that case, the long-term trend is also turned southward. So 486 should be a strict stop loss, and use any recovery towards 530, 540 zone to exit your position, because it's likely to consolidate in the coming days.
Okay. All right. So we can't take broad-based questions, Prakash, so I'm going to hold this for tomorrow. But it is time to hit the rapid fire round. This is where Ajit and Saurabh, we throw as many questions as possible at you over the course of 2 minutes. Let me start with a question on on Patel Engineering. We got Swaroop, who's got 35,000 shares and bought at levels of 60 rupees. He's looking for a long-term view. Should he hold or exit? Very large holding. Saurabh, would you hold?
Hold.
Delta Corp is the next counter. Kiran wants a view whether this is the right time to make an entry or not. Ajit?
Avoid.
Okay. NCC, we've got Manju, who's bought 55 at 277. Would you hold or exit? Ajit?
Add more and maintain a stop at 190.
All right. Aegis Logistics is the next counter. 2,000 shares are being held by Menak, and he wants to know whether he should buy at current levels, add more, hold. What should be the view, Ajit, on the charts?
Aegis hold and maintain a stop at 750. Volatile stocks, so be strict with your stop loss.
Okay. Vishwanath wants to know, Reddington bought at levels of 167. Would you hold? He's holding 200 shares. He's not specified a time frame. Saurabh, would you hold for the long term?
Hold for long term.
Okay, Shivani wants a view whether she can buy Suzlon at the current price for the next 3 years. Saurabh?
Buy.
Titagar, if you bought at levels of 1650, would you advise to buy on dips? Puneet wants to know. Saurabh?
Buy on valuation, avoid.
All right, Lemon Tree is the next counter. Should the person hold from a shorter term perspective or sell? Ajit, your view?
Hold, but maintain stop at 130.
Ajit, Keynes Technologies, coming to you on this one. Subhadeep from Kolkata is bought at levels of 4,400. What is the outlook for the next 6 months?
Seems like that it's extremely oversold. Accumulates, stop loss 3,700.
All right, Ola Electric, Saurabh, your view on the counter?
Hold.
Okay. All right, unfortunately out of time on this leg of the rapid fire segment, indeed on the show. Saurabh, Ajit, thanks so much for joining in, for answering all the questions, and absolute pleasure as always having you on the program. All right, and that brings us to the end of this edition of Ask Profit. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the program, as we normally do, taking all of your questions. We'll be back tomorrow to take even more from Mahima and myself and the team that put the show together. Thank you so much for watching. This is NDTV Profit.
बजट भाषण सुना, उसके बाद मेरा पहला एक्रोनिम निकाला मैंने, वो था RRR, रिस्पॉन्सिव, रिस्पॉन्सिबल, रिफॉर्मिस्ट, और मैंने कहा रिवॉल्यूशनरी। हाउ डिड यू अराइव एट दिस नंबर ऑफ 12 लाख रुपीस?
हमें लगता है टैक्स पेयर उस लेवल नंबर से टैक्स भर रहा है, क्या उनको हम कुछ कर सकते हैं?
प्राइवेट सेक्टर कैपेक्स अभी तक वो इन्वेस्ट क्यों नहीं कर रहे हैं, जबकि आपका इकोनॉमिक सर्वे ही बताता है कि वो कैश पाइल पे बैठे हुए हैं।
अगर कंजम्पशन बढ़ता है और उसके तहत लगता है कि ग्रेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट का पॉसिबिलिटी है, वो भी अच्छा ट्रिगर हो सकता है।
AI बहुत तेज़ी से आ रहा है, तो जॉब के चैलेंजेस होंगे, स्किल के चैलेंज पहले से हैं, तो जो ट्रांजिशन पीरियड का स्ट्रगल है, नौकरी मुझे अभी चाहिए।
पूरे साल का एक्सपोजर दिलाने के लिए हम इंटर्नशिप प्रोग्राम ले आए और इसके साथ साथ इस बजट में भी